Hello, everyone. Welcome to RE Investment Podcast. So I'm your host, Al Dominguez. I am the co-founder at Sana Wealth. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Brenda Jones. She's a recruiter at a Fortune 500 company. She's a real estate investor. She's empowering peers. And she's the owner of 592 units in multifamily in Arizona, and she's building financial freedom and generational wealth through multifamily. So very excited to have you today, Brenda. Thank you for taking the time. Could you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Brenda Jones. I live out here in Orange County. And like you mentioned, I'm a recruiter. I've been recruiting for 17 years now. I do work for a big tech company. And I've been in real estate investing for about 8 months now. I do own 532 units in Arizona. Pretty exciting about that. And my, goals right now are to target 100 to 200 units in either Arizona, Vegas, and the Carolinas. And I think the plan is for us to start a fund. So you'll be seeing that from me in the next couple of months.
Amazing. I mean, your journey, 8 months, that's a lot you accomplished so far. So keep crushing it out here. A little bit in line with that statement, can you share your journey into real estate investing and what inspired you to pursue it?
Yeah, of course. So me and my husband were trying to buy a primary home last year. And if you are knowing anything about real estate, that's when the interest rates were going crazy. So that was the time frame of February to August. And we were making offers every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we were just getting priced out like by hundreds of thousands of dollars. And as each month went by, the size of the home got smaller. So we started with a 5-bedroom house, and then it went down to like a 3-bedroom condo, and that just didn't make sense for us, right? So kind of gave up, or don't want to say gave up, maybe like took a break, right? It was definitely very frustrating, and it was a great learning experience, but yeah, it was tough. And like everyone who's trying to buy a house, they wish they had bought it 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? So there's
Right.
never the right time. Just get it now. But magically, Pace Morby showed up on my Instagram, which I feel like is a very common theme with all of us in this similar communities. And I started following him. I actually was following a couple other mentors online, and Pace was the most genuine. He was the only one talking about building a community. He seemed very down to earth, someone I would want to hang out with, right? Like I could see being friends
Right.
with him. And so I decided the following March, which was March 2023, I decided to join his mentorship. And that was, a whirlwind, right? So, I didn't have any real estate experience. So there was a lot of learning I had to do. I definitely felt like I had made a mistake. I was scared and about to give up, but thank God I didn't. And, the beginning of that started with me thinking I had to wholesale, and, that didn't make sense for me. I got a
Mhm.
high W-2. I don't really have time to do that. So thankfully, through networking within the group, someone gave me some good advice. They said, "Do you have money or time?" And I said, "I've got money." And he said, "Well, then let people know." And I was like, "Oh, okay. That's not like douchey." Like I didn't want to just get into this group and start posting I have money, right? Like that's
Right.
not, you know. So anyways, so I started advertising myself within the group that I was a buyer, right? So um, as I was learning the different types of exit strategies, midterm rentals made the most sense for me, especially because there were so many crackdowns with short-term rentals. So I started networking with wholesalers within the group and trying to see if things would work out, but none of them really penciled out, which is fine because, again, it's all a big learning experience. And then I was one of the lucky people who got chosen to go to community camp. So that was a, collective opportunity where people from Sub 2, Gator, Vina's group, Mastering with Multifamily, Jamil's group, Jerry Norton's group. So, I think it was about 150 people plus their families got to go to Kalispell, Montana. And that was amazing. And that's actually like the point in time where I tell people that my real estate journey really took off. That's where I found out that, you should be focusing on your strengths, not your weaknesses. And so, it was brought to my attention that I'm really great at networking. I'm great at building rapport. Like I'm a social butterfly, I can work a room. And I was like, yeah, that's super easy for me. I've been doing that my whole life. It's my job, like it's not work for me, right? Like I don't dread
Yes.
it. And so someone had told me, I don't know if it was Vina, it was probably Vina who told me, she said, you should raise capital. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then the shift to multifamily was, well, if you're going to work hard, you might as well go big, right? So, and the general ideas of getting into multifamily, people think you have to be this rich person, right, with millions of dollars. And
Right.
that's not the case. We're learning that you don't need to. So that's where I'm at right now. I want to raise capital. I want to focus on multifamily and be a GP. I'm really excited about that.
Yes. Wow, you pressed on so many different points. I don't know which one to pick, but uh you touched on you got inspired through the community. Um and you got connected through Pace Morby, and you're connected in the Bina Jetty, the Multify community. Like, what is it that's so important to you to be part of these groups, and how does that help you?
Yeah, honestly, they're all cliche terms, right? Getting in the right rooms, but it makes sense, right? Especially for someone who has zero real estate experience. My private circle, my best friends are all recruiters. So we all know about recruiting. Um, Everyone has a primary home, but nobody's really doing any real estate investing. So who can I really turn to for advice, right? And joining this community and joining a mentorship, I really took it from the perspective of I'm going to school, you know, because
Yes.
how else are you going to learn something that you have zero experience in? So the beauty of these communities, which makes them very special and different from other communities, is that they really encourage people to help other people. Like they say, go givers, right? So, it's not that typical mentorship where you just sit in a classroom and learn and then that's it, right? You do learn from Pace, you do learn from Vina, but most of the value is from the community members. And,
Mhm.
one of the things that I had accomplished in these 8 months is developing a micro community in Orange County. And that was because we needed a group in Orange County. There was groups in LA, groups in San Diego. And if you're familiar with SoCal, traffic sucks. So, driving 2 hours north or south is not always like the best thing you can do, right? So a handful of us created a group, and 7 months now we've got 500 people in our Facebook group and 30 to 50 people who come see us every 2 weeks. And I've built amazing relationships with these people, and they've become friends, they've become family. I've invited them to my son's birthday. Um, Community, honestly, it means everything. I don't think I would be where I'm at 8 months if I tried to do this by myself.
Amazing. And it looks like you're very busy in the real estate world. I'm just wondering, how do you manage your role as a mother? I know we talked about you have a little boy and you have a W-2, and you're just making it happen. So how are you managing that? And what advice you may have for someone that is in similar roles and wants to get into real estate?
Yeah. Well, I will make the comment that women are super women and we can multitask and do a bunch of things at the same time. But in all seriousness, just whenever I had extra time, right? So when I first started Sub 2, a lot of the self training, right, was on Zooms or watching like modules. And I'd wake up early and try to watch 2 hours of it. And then, get my
Mhm.
son ready for school, and then do my day job. And then at lunchtime, right, eat and get on a Zoom, and then do my job again, pick up my son, do dinner, all that fun stuff, put him to bed, and then get on Zoom again from like 8 to 11, right? Sometimes I was tired, but I wanted to accomplish it quickly, because
Yeah.
I'm a high achiever and I'm competitive and I really wanted to get things going. But you have to find the time, right? And again, that kind of falls back to like your strengths and passions. If you don't like real estate, like then don't do it, right? Like we in the community and like micro influencers make it look like it's fun and easy, but if you don't have the passion for it, you're not going to want to do it, right? You're going to give up after a couple weeks. So find something that excites you. Like I said, for me, like recruiting and doing real estate is practically the same skill set. It's just a different product. So for me,
Mm.
I'm not learning how to sell anymore. I'm just learning about real estate. So, yeah, I mean, if you want something, you make the time, right?
That's just amazing. And, kudos to you for doing that. You kind of remind me a little bit of Amy Majori. I don't know if anyone's told you that, but do you
No,
have
I
that
love it. I just went
very
to her
similar, yeah,
conference.
very similar mindset? Is like, I got to go after this and I got to make it happen. And it's going to take work and dedication, but if you put the time, you should receive those rewards. Um, can you talk a little bit about key mindset strategies that have helped you overcome challenges? I know you're doing a lot, you're very busy. So, some of those key things that you can share with our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a lot of people in our community recently started reading Jen Gottlieb's book, Be Seen, right? And when you read that book, she talks about visualization and manifesting. And,
Mm,
to a lot of people, it sounds hokey, but it really does work. And funny enough, like early in my recruiting career, like 2008, when there was the real real estate crash, right? Like I was working at an agency at 100% commission, and economy was bad, and I actually bought the book The Secret, and then that book is
mm,
essentially like the pinnacle book about manifestation and putting what you want out there into the universe so it can come back to you. So what I've been doing recently, and I've been doing this on and off for a long time, but recently I've been, writing affirmations in my notebook, saying them out loud. I have them on my iPhone as a reminder. So at like 6:30 in the morning, four of them just pop up and I read them and then I write them down. And it doesn't manifest 100%, but it happens because I guess scientifically your subconscious can't tell the difference, right? So, if you're sitting there being sad and gloomy, then everything you're going to see is sad and gloomy. But, if you're
right.
happy and you're putting gratitude out there and just envisioning this beautiful life that you want, like it's going to happen. Not tomorrow, right? But 8 months, a year, 5 years from now. So I really believe in that. It's like when you even talk about like losing weight or anything, right? It's like if you're not in the right mental state, things are not going to
Mhm.
happen. So the power of the mind is amazing.
I agree. Um, and the more you visualize, you're gonna find, and this is me talking from my experience. I find that I am now being surrounded by people that have that similar mindset and similar goals versus before it seemed like it was people that were bringing me their problems, or they were coming in with negativity. And now that you're in real estate and you're utilizing these tools with mindset, great things are coming your way just by having those thoughts and visualization. You know, Michael Jordan used to do that. He used to go into the arena before every game and he would visualize himself doing the amazing plays, and he would go out there and do them. So
Exactly.
that's great advice, and definitely is something that I practice myself. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Um, what challenges have you overcome in investment or your career that you can share with the audience?
Oh, geez. I guess real estate wise, right? Like in the beginning, just trying to find out what makes sense for you, what lane you should be in. I always tell people that when I first started, again, I'll go back to the wholesaling, right? Like I thought that's what I had to do. And I was like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? Like my husband's going to kill me because, the mentorship's not cheap, right? So it's like, I got to make this
Right.
work. So I got to find another way. Um, but, a personal hardship, right? So back in 2008, right, I was recruiting for an agency, and that was during the housing crisis, right? Like the mortgages all blew up and all that stuff. And, I had just started this job and didn't really understand how to manage money when you have a 100% commission job. And so, anyways, long story short, I will admit that I did have to file bankruptcy. And, I was young. I was in my early 20s. So thank God I did that in my early 20s and not in my 40s, where I'm at right now. But it was a good learning lesson. And now, I've picked myself up. I've got a great career. I have, you know, enough money in the bank, right? So, and my credit's amazing. But, like there's things that you have to learn in life and you can't let it keep you down, right? Like it was a
Yeah.
tough time in my life, but I figured out a way to overcome it. And now I'm just trying to even just get better in my life, right? Just try to, I don't know.
No,
So yeah,
that's just amazing. Thank you for sharing that story, because those are the things that make us stronger, right? Um, if you had not gone through that experience, probably your future would be different, because that's how we learn, that's how we grow. Just going, metal to the fire type of situation that makes us grow. So
yeah.
I can definitely see that in your journey. So that's amazing. Uh, can you offer any advice to our listeners who are looking to get started in real estate investing?
Yeah. I kind of like repeat the same kind of themes over and over again, but the few things that I've learned through this journey is focusing on your strengths. So if you are a part of Sub 2 or thinking about joining Sub 2, Pace has a YouTube series called the Avatar series. And he breaks down, I don't even know how many there are. I think there's at least 20, right? Different types of roles you can do in real estate. So again, like general knowledge, everyone thinks you just buy a house and rent it out, but there's so many other things you can do. You can wholesale, you can flip, you can wrap, you can be a TC, you can raise money, you can just be a connector, which is one of my avatars. So again, like figure out what makes sense for you, what you enjoy, because that just makes it so much easier. And then something that we learned in Rosie Noel's group is Clifton Strengths, right? So that's something that, I think it's like a 35, 45-minute test where it identifies like 34 strengths. And again, it it details on how you can use those strengths to better your work, your life, or whatever venture you're trying to um, do. And for me, like I'm an orange, I'm an activator, I'm a communicator, I'm an influencer, which is not surprising, but it's great because it gives you details on how to use those things to, like I said, achieve your goals. So
Right.
definitely focus on your strengths, focus on your passions, and get a community. I don't care how small it is, one person, right? But
Hmm.
meet with them in person on a daily or weekly, cadence, and you need that support. So
It's amazing. We love Rosie Noel.
yeah,
She tries to bring the best in you and lean into those strengths to help you grow and achieve your goals. So it's amazing. Couple questions. Any books or podcasts that you recommend to the audience that's helped you in your journey?
Yeah. So I said I just read Jen Gottlieb's book, Be Seen. That was really great, especially if you want to amp up your social media presence. And then I read Alex Hormozy's book, The $100 Million Leads. That's really good. Again, I've been in sales, but he did point out a lot of things that I didn't know, or at least, kind of gave me more information on, and like creating a lead magnet, which is something I'm trying to work on right now for myself. And then let me think, podcasts. I kind of just try to listen to a bunch of them, right? There's a lot of them within our community, like Catherine has one, right? So I think I'm going to be speaking on her soon. But I've listened to Bigger Pockets. I've listened to Cody Sperber's. I was just listening to Heather Blankenship's, the one that Vina was just on. So anything real estate related, I've been listening to, obviously. So, but yeah, the more you know, the better, right? You can never stop learning.
Amazing. Well, Brenda, we're so proud of you. I, what you accomplished in 8 months, it's amazing, and we can't wait to see the future and your growth. Thank you for sharing your story. How can the audience follow you on social media?
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram. My handle is Brenda Rose Invest. I'm on Facebook, Brenda Rose Invest. I'm on YouTube, Brenda Rose Invest. So it's all the same across those platforms. I don't have anything on YouTube yet, but I'm working on it. But the main platform would be Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Brenda. Appreciate you and keep crushing it. Until
I
next one,
appreciate it.
guys.
Thank you so much. Is this still recording?